we went to a Jane Austen ball.
I know, just try not to breathe, okay?
I think I might just be still in love with Johnny Lee Miller.
Hi there, Happy New Year. Welcome to the Reading Queens podcast. We're here unscripted, unfiltered, and ranty, or passionate. We might change up that little saying eventually, but for now, it's staying. I'm Valia. Hi. Welcome to this podcast.
I'm Hanna.
And I'm Clarissa.
Yes, we're here for the first podcast of the year. I'm excited. We're a little hectic, but it's great. So yeah, today we're starting off the year with a really great topic that is all near and dear to our hearts, and it is Jane Austen. Ta-da.
The queen.
Yeah. We had to eventually do a full episode about her, okay? I know we talked about her a lot, but we had to do a whole episode. So that's
she kept creeping into the other podcasts.
Yeah, because she's in everything. So Here we are, talking about her and her books and movie adaptations and retellings and whatever. So first of all, obviously, how are you doing in 2022?
Well, I think Clary and I both got COVID over Christmas.
Yeah.
So that was really exciting for us.
That was me last year, so...
Yeah. We're not as, up with the times as you. It took us a whole year. But I got better in time to go visit my parents, so that was really nice, over New Year's. And then we got back last night, and then it started snowing, and now there's 18 inches of fresh snow on my car.
I'm so jealous.
And my kids are really excited, and I am just, living in a little snow globe. And, pretty excited. I'm going to stay inside and read, not going to lie, but I might go out a little bit.
I would be outside right now.
Yeah.
I would be no podcast for me.
Just, roll around in it.
Yes.
Yes, I wish you could be here.
And then come in and drink lots of hot chocolate and then go back out again.
To enjoy it.
I'm a child when it comes to snow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I still have Christmas cookies because we had to cancel one of our Christmas parties. And I'm I have an extra bin of Christmas cookies
Nice. Now. That's cool. Clary, does it snow where you live?
Yes. We probably get about a week or two of snow somewhere between November and February.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there. Could be.
So it's exciting when it snows.
Yeah, it's exciting when it snows. And everything just about stops because we can't cope with it because we don't have it enough. At some point we haven't had it yet this winter, so we'll see. It's when it hits some point. Who knows? It takes a lot of snow to stop things here, but this was, I guess, enough because I kept seeing Facebook posts of the road in my neighborhood and cars
18 inches
just
is enough.
Abandoned in the middle of the road. Yeah. I mean, until the snowplows come.
Yeah.
The poor people who had to work at 5 a.m. I don't know what they did. Walk? I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's funny. I remember when I was in college in California, that it never snows where I was. I was in high desert. I think it's called high desert, but it never snows there ever. We've had maybe flurries once in the years that I was there, but then my senior year, it snowed 10 inches. The whole campus was covered, and so me and one of my boss, I worked 2 jobs, me and her went out and took pictures of everything because we did photography for the college, and so we had all these snow filled pictures, and people are using in promo videos and brochures and stuff, and they're where is this campus? Did you guys get a new campus somewhere?
We're in Wisconsin now.
Yeah. We're no, it's still the same. But that was the best time ever because it was so quiet. Nobody is outside. Just fresh snow on all this stuff that I've never seen snow on, I know. I love snow so much.
Snow's beautiful.
I miss it.
It's beautiful as long as you don't have to do anything. If you have to go somewhere,
I have to go places
and do things, then it can be a pain and dangerous and things. But if you're just going around and having fun and playing, then it's great.
I suppose that's true. No, when I lived in New York, we had like the Snowmageddon. That's what they were called it when Storm Jonas came through. And I remember the whole city shutting down. It was great. Like, I lived in a walk-up, and I, like, barely could open the door downstairs because I wanted to see the street, and I couldn't, like, open it. And so, like, these cars were just covered, like, all the way to the top. And it just looked like one of those, I don't know, dystopian movies or stuff like that,
right.
You know? And you're
nature
just, like,
is taking it back.
Yeah, it was great. But, yeah, it's true. Like, at least I didn't have to scrape my car off or whatever and go somewhere in it. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, we're gonna talk about snow for the next 30 minutes.
This is actually the snow episode.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, we're just gonna move on before this
But I'll
episode.
try and post a picture in the stories on our Instagram on the day this episode comes out.
Yeah.
So remind me, so you can see how deep my snow is. So you can enjoy it with me.
Perfect. Okay, so Jane Austen. Let's talk about her. The legend, the myth, the whatever that saying is. Anyway.
The only classic I read. No, I always say I read kids classics and Jane Austen. I'm like, I know that like Joanna, one of our other queens, just loves Dickens, and I just can't even. I need like classic rom-com.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much what they are. I'm like, that's more my speed.
You have a very specific taste. It's fine.
I do.
It's fine. So I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to Clary to go first. So think about this, right? This is the important question that everybody wants an answer to. What is your favorite Jane Austen book and why?
Persuasion.
Me too.
Yeah,
oh, sorry.
It's the one where you don't think it's all going to work out, and it's just so much more emotional, and they get there at the end, and yeah, I love Persuasion. It's a lot deeper than some of the other ones. I remember I first was introduced to Jane Austen at school. We had to study Pride and Prejudice. And I remember getting it, and I remember trying to read it and really struggling. And I struggled, and we had like half a term or something when Pride and Prejudice was one of the books we were studying. And I couldn't read it. And I got to about halfway. And then suddenly something clicked, and I read it like 3 times in the rest of the term because it was just like, wow, this is the best thing ever. It probably helped that the teacher decided it was just when the BBC TV adaptation came out with Colin Firth in, and it tells you how old I am. And so she decided that we had to watch that during our English lessons as well. So that probably helped. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
I don't think we watched quite the whole series, but we did watch quite a lot of it. So that's my favorite one.
Okay, well, before I talk about why I love it, Hannah, what's your favorite?
Well, I'm going to be a basic girl and say Pride and Prejudice is my favorite one.
That's okay.
I do always say that Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion and Emma are for me like the top 3, and they're kind of different moods.
Yeah.
But Pride and Prejudice, it was, I think, when I was a teenager and it came out on the BBC, I remember just watching it on TV. Like, I was just, like, randomly flipping channels and somehow caught the first episode, and then that's all I did for the rest of the week. I was like, I'm not going out. I have to watch my 2 hours a day of Pride and Prejudice, and I was obsessed. It did take me a while to read it, but it was also the first one I read, and I did just love it. I just love that little, enemies to lovers, stoic, INTJ vibe. I don't know. It's wonderful.
There are some great characters.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
But Persuasion is so good, and I just remember reading the part like where he writes her the letter and you don't know what he's written, and then when she reads the letter later and you realize that's what he was writing and that scene, and I just got chills like all over. And I had been struggling up to that point, same as you with Pride and Prejudice, and then I just like binged the rest of the book. It was so good.
Yeah.
She likes to start you off slow, but it gives more reward, I think.
Yeah. I think with Persuasion, why it's my favorite still, because I reread it at least once a year, usually around Christmas time. I didn't this year, which was really weird to me, but I just haven't been reading in general, so like it kind of fit. Anyway, my aesthetic of not reading. But I think even though it starts off slow, like it's always been so relatable to me. like in my own life, like I just relate to her so much right off the bat. And the older I get, the more I relate to her. It's kind of funny, you know? And so it's like every year when I read it, I'm just kind of like, oh, yeah, no, girl, I get you. Like, and so.
Right, because Jane Austen doesn't write about teenagers.
No, right? She doesn't.
Like, they're pretty mature, most of them.
And then with Persuasion, it's different too, because she had like a love that she chose not to pursue, you know, because of whatever. And so it's like now she's like an old woman, quote unquote, in that time. And she, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's such a different, like you said, they're different feels. And I feel like with Persuasion, it was such a different type of a character than all the other spunky young girls that she wrote, that I was just like, right off the bat, my old soul was like, yes, this was my favorite. But yeah, anyway, I can probably talk about that forever, but I do want to ask, what is your least favorite Jane Austen? Clary,
do I get to go first again?
Yes.
Emma. I think she's really annoying.
Oh, I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is an old wives' tale or if it's something, but I heard a story that someone in their Oxford interview said to get a place to study at Oxford, to study English, they were asked, if you were Mr. Knightley, would you marry Emma?
Oh, wow, okay.
If you answer wrong, do you not get...
Well, I'm not sure there is a wrong answer, but you just, you've got to have the reasoning behind it and be able to explain it.
That's hilarious.
I don't think I would. Yeah, she's really...
You'd be like, she seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's funny. What about you, Hannah? What's your least favorite?
Mansfield Park is my least favorite. I just find it kind of depressing, and I just like, I'm a modern girl, and I have trouble shipping the first cousin romance.
Oh.
But I also really don't like Sense and Sensibility, which I know a lot of people love it. I think both the boys are dumb and they're not worthy of the girls. Like, they should get new guys.
Yeah, that's my least favorite, is Sense and Sensibility.
I read, like, back when I was in my 20s, I remember I read Pride and Prejudice, and then, like, now I'll read Sense and Sensibility, because everyone says, that's, like, the other big one or whatever, right? And I got halfway through, and I was like, I can't. And then when I was 29, I did a list of, like, 30 things to do before I turned 30.
Okay.
And one of them was read all the Jane Austens. And I don't think I knew about, like, her unfinished ones or whatever, but I read all of her finished novels, and it was still a slog getting through both of those. I was like, oh.
I have not read Sense and Sensibility. Like, I've tried so many times, and I can't do it. And I can't even get through the movie. Like, I've gotten through the movie once, and after that, I'm like...
Oh, I love the movie! Oh,
I don't know what it is. Yeah, I don't. But the Mansfield Park.
The boys are still dumb in the movie, though.
Yeah, the Mansfield Park movie, though, I love. So it's like, what?
It was okay.
I don't know.
Mansfield Park. She's just so much more reactive. She just sits down and lets. Is it Mansfield Park or is it Northanger Abbey? I'm thinking about where she just
you're thinking of Mansfield Park.
Maybe where she's just so much more reactive and just sits down and lets things happen to her, and she doesn't have the the force and the drive and the action that you want. That you look for certainly in a more modern book.
I mean, Northanger Abbey is like a satire, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Northanger Abbey. I enjoyed all of them except for Mansfield Park and Sense and Sensibility, and I was like, these aren't your best.
It's all right. We won't talk about that anymore then. No, I'm just kidding. I'm very curious to see if you guys have like a least favorite Jane Austen, because it's always interesting to me. So make sure to let us know on our Instagram at Reading Queens Pod.
If you love Sense and Sensibility also.
Yeah.
Feel free to come fight us.
I know. That's so funny too, that like we literally that's the one we're like, whatever. Anyway. No. Okay, so next question. Do you have a favorite Jane Austen TV or movie adaptation? That's not Pride and Prejudice 2005, Hannah.
See, so obviously that's number one. But if you want to know why, you can listen to like 5 other podcast episodes.
That's the Keira Knightley one, isn't it?
That's the Keira Knightley one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, swoon. Anyway, yes, moving on. I honestly have liked almost everyone I've ever watched. I did love the old BBC one. Was great. I think the BBC miniseries of Emma.
Yes.
I loved that one. The one with Johnny Lee Miller and Romilly, whatever her last name is. I have to admit, I have had a crush on Johnny Lee Miller since I was a teenager and watched Hackers.
Oh, nice.
And loved him so much ever since then. I watched that movie about once a week for 3 years, so don't judge. But I thought their chemistry in that one is so sweet. The new Emma movie is very pretty and has some awesome clothes. And, it's good. It's fine. It's a little weird, but it's good. But that one just it gave me feels so much all the way through. And then my wild horse one I like. Anyone seen Bride and Prejudice?
Yeah.
The Bollywood adaptation. Yeah. I love it so much. I love the music, and it gives me the feels, and it's adorable. Go watch that one. I was thinking I should watch it with my kids this week.
Oh, that'd be cute.
I'm gonna make them watch it. It's so fun.
Yeah. Clary, what about you? Do you have a favorite TV or movie adaptation?
I love the original BBC. Well, actually, I'm not even sure if it is the original one. The 1995 or whenever it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's great. My sister and I used to have it on video, on VHS. And we would watch it over and over and over again. And we were
good.
Almost word perfect on it, which my mum was quite scared about at some points. So that I think I even have it on DVD now so that I can still carry on watching it. I should probably watch it again. I haven't watched it in ages. And yeah, I like that. I do like the Emma Thompson and Kate Winslet Sensibility as well.
That one was beautiful.
It was beautiful. And I feel I have to say Sanditon. The recent
I haven't watched that
thing.
yet.
Yeah, apart from the ending.
Too scared.
The ending was rubbish. It needs a second series to fully round it out.
Getting a second one.
But with
Is
a
it?
different
With
guy.
different guy. Yeah.
Yes, but different guy.
But Theo James is not coming back.
Oh no! Oh
yeah. So
I hadn't heard that. No, I don't know. Do I like that? I don't know.
Clary is having problems here. Okay, give her a second.
I couldn't watch it streaming anywhere in Canada without, I don't know, I couldn't figure out where to watch it or whatever. And then after listening to Tess feeling so devastatingly brokenhearted, I'm I don't know if I could do that to myself.
It's got some great moments in it. It is
That's
really
what I
good.
hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tess loves it, except for the ending, which
she's just don't watch the ending. I'm how do I not watch
just skip? I think she was just end at this episode and you'll be fine. Just pretend. And I'm okay. No, I haven't watched that one. I do love the Emma BBC one is my favorite. I'm trying to get my parents to watch it. My mom is not very big on period dramas just because it's hard for her sometimes to understand their language, the way they speak. Obviously with Ukrainian actually being her first language, Russian being her second, and German being her third.
So English is down the list somewhere.
English is so far down the list that she's just what are they saying sometimes? Which is understandable. I have a hard time sometimes too, obviously. But I've been trying to get her to watch it because I feel that one she can actually understand most of it. I do like the new Emma as well in sense that, actually my favorite part is just when they're dancing without gloves. I just love that so much. The
so
dancing with, that whole scene was so good. It's my favorite.
Dad was so good in that one. Her father was amazing. And the whole part where they bring the screen out so they can have privacy.
I loved it. Yeah, I actually bought it. I saw it in New York with my friends, and I was just this movie's gonna have a special place in my heart.
I just don't understand some of their creative choices. And
Yeah,
I mean,
it was weird, but I think it was supposed to be weird. And Hannah's child just ran by in the background, like a little demon from It was cute. No, I really like that one. And I was trying to think of which other one I was I really like, but this is a very, very unpopular opinion. Probably I am 1% of people who like this movie.
I'm fascinated now.
The Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
I didn't watch it.
I hate it.
I'm a hard no on zombies.
Yeah, so I hate it with the biggest passion in my heart. I hated Darcy for that one. I could not stand that actor to be in there. But I loved everything else about it. I love them fighting. I love the girls. I don't know, just the whole aesthetic of that. I was get me a better Darcy and I would be the happiest person ever. I just think that whole concept is so fun. I don't know. Anyway.
And I've read Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, but I haven't seen the film. But I've also read the Pride and Prejudice and Dragons adaptation, and I don't think it's been made for TV or anything, but the books are just, yeah, I think I read all the first 3 books in a day because I just couldn't put them down.
Oh, okay.
This seems very on brand for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it is very on brand.
I know. I'm like, Pride and Prejudice and Dragons. How can you
right?
You're like dragons,
how can you refuse
zombies.
that?
Yeah, so that was my next question, is what's your favorite Jane Austen book retelling? Is that going to be your favorite, or do you have one that you like better? That's like an adaptation retelling.
I haven't read so many, actually. But yeah, I think that one is good. And I like the Pride and Prejudice film that Hanna mentioned. That's fabulous as well.
It's so cute.
Yeah. Hanna, do you have a favorite book adaptation / retelling?
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I was like going through, I'm like, what are all the adaptations that are out there? Because I can never remember what books I've read.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember this. I'm sorry, you're always like, keep this short, Hanna. I do remember that I read Sense and Sensibility retold by Joanna Trollope. I don't know how to say her last name.
Okay.
It was this thing they were doing. They're like, it's called the Jane Austen Project, and we're going to get modern writers to rewrite all of them as rom-coms. And I thought it was a great idea, but I think they only did 2 of them. Anyway, but that Sense and Sensibility I actually liked. So I was like, it's not the concept. It was just that I couldn't handle the whipped boys, I think.
Yeah, probably.
But so last year maybe I read Pride and Prejudice. It's called Pride by Ibi Zoboi.
Okay.
I don't know how to say her name either. Sorry. And it is a retelling in modern Brooklyn, between and it's like all about Black culture, and it was really beautiful. Like, it's a very poetically written book, and it was short, which sometimes I need.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like, if you just told me this is a great book about, Brooklyn and Black culture, I would have been like, that sounds like something I should read. And I would have
right, yeah.
read a fantasy book instead. But you're like, and it's a Pride and Prejudice retelling. I was like, well, I'm in. So it was really great. I really recommend that one. I thought it was
that's cool.
Really well written.
I have that one. I haven't read it yet.
It's short.
Yeah, my favorite. Right, my favorite adaptation, I guess you would say, is For Darkness Shines the Stars. Wait, I think I just butchered that. But it's by Diana Peterfreund. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna put it in the description because I butchered the title and the author's name. I'm so sorry. No, but it is a Persuasion adaptation, and it is a space, it's a sci-fi, and it's so freaking good. Like, I remember reading it when it first came out, and it was just like, I've never read a Persuasion retelling up until that point. Because, Pride and Prejudice is, in everything, right? Like, you can find a Pride and Prejudice retelling adaptation, anywhere in every genre. But Persuasion was, one of those that nobody... I didn't even know anybody who loved that book for the longest time. I thought I was the only one. Because everybody's like, Pride and Prejudice, Sensibility, Emma. And I'm like, yeah, cool. But, what about Persuasion?
So it never got a good movie. I feel like that's part of the problem.
But I love the 90s movie. That one, that's the movie that's the movie I was thinking about, that I was like, maybe I should talk about it. But I love that movie. I thought it was so well done, and it was so emotional, and I need a DVD of it because it's not streaming anywhere, and I've been
Well, I think that's the thing. I don't think I've ever watched it because I don't think I didn't even know it existed until about a year ago. It just did not seem to permeate.
Yeah.
Modern culture somehow.
Which is understandable, but I'm a really big fan of it, and I used to just literally rent it all the time because it wasn't available for purchase, but I will purchase it one day and I will have it. Anyway, side note. But that's the movie I was thinking that I couldn't think of. But no, I loved the the adaptation of it, and they were, the Captain Wentworth was a space captain. He came back on a spaceship, and there was a rebellion. It was so good. Highly recommend. So my last question for this topic is a 2-parter. Who is your favorite heroine and hero? They don't have to be from the same book if they're not. So, Clary, you'll go first.
That's difficult. I'm going to have to go with Mr. Darcy and Eleanor Dashwood.
Okay. Hannah? Hannah's thinking.
I am thinking.
Was I too fast? I can tell a story if you like while you think.
Yeah,
can I tell a Jane Austen related story?
Yes.
So, about 7 or 8 years ago, we went to a Jane Austen ball.
Ooh, okay.
All dressed up in, like, era clothes. Now, I grew up in Kent, in England, and quite close to where I lived is the house that her brother lived in.
Okay.
And so there's quite a lot of houses that it's known, or like that she visited. And one of them is Chilham Castle. And it was Chilham Castle hosted the ball. And as part of the ticket price, you got dinner in one of the houses in the village. So the owners of Chilham Castle had arranged with a number of their neighbours that they would host dinners. So you had dinners in small groups in different houses nearby. And then you all came to the castle for the ball in the sort of... Yeah, and the idea was that that's the style of what it would have been like in the Regency period, and that's what they would have all done and had small dinner parties before going to the ball. And that was fun.
Did you get a carriage? Or did you
I don't think so. No, I think I can't remember, actually.
They just walked.
I need to know all these details.
Hannah's like, well.
Nobody does parties like this in Canada, guys.
I don't remember. Anyway.
Or Arizona.
Yeah.
In order to, so we had the Empire Line dresses and everything, and I also made myself a reticule, so like the little bags, which I still have. And
she's showing us.
I'm showing it.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to see it, it's actually pictured on the cover of my short story book.
Just it's that book.
Oh, nice.
Because I needed something to take a picture of. So yeah, I have a very nice little fancy reticule that I made to take to the Jane Austen ball, whenever it was.
Aww.
8 years ago or something.
That's adorable. I want to do one of those. That'd be really
if I can find a picture. I can't remember if we had carriages or not. I did take like some pictures, but it was very dark. I'll see if I can find a picture that's sensible, and I'll put it in the stories if I can remember.
Perfect. Okay. Cool.
Now, Hannah, if you had time to think.
Now me.
I'm like, Hannah.
I was like, can I think of anything other than just saying Lizzie and Mr. Darcy? I do like Mr. Knightley pretty equally to Mr. Darcy, even though he's like I don't know, you feel like he's kind of like a judgy guy, but also Emma sort of needs that, so
it's true.
He had her best interests at heart. It made her a better person, so it might be kind of annoying to be with. I think I might just be still in love with Johnny Lee Miller.
Probably.
So I'm gonna go with Lizzie and Mr. Darcy. I like the bookish girl and the brooding guy, and I don't care if everyone else thinks the same thing as me.
It's fine. It's fine. No, my favorite heroine probably will have to be Lizzie for sure, because it's just
she's so relatable.
She is so relatable, and my favorite hero would have to be Captain Wentworth. Like I know, like, it's...
Just swoon.
He's just... I don't know. He, like, is just what I picture, like, myself being with. You know what I mean? Like, somebody who can, like, I don't know, stand the time. Like, what is it? The strain of time or whatever. What is that?
The test of time.
Test of time. There you go. And who can just, like, love that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that he loved her for such a long time. And then he like went out and made something of himself. You know, I don't know. I love that ambition. I love that. Like, I mean, it's nice, obviously, that Darcy like has the money and all that stuff. Like, he comes with it. But the fact that like Wentworth did the work is like so attractive to me. And I just love that like so much. And I don't know. He's always been like my favorite. And yeah. Okay, but I just thought of something. Well, actually, I thought of two things. Side note, did you guys watch the YouTube adaptations, like the Lizzie Bennet the Lizzie Bennet Diaries and the Emma Approved? Did you guys watch those?
I've watched most of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, and I keep forgetting that I didn't quite finish it.
Okay.
Because the format doesn't really work for me, and it's not something that I watch with my husband, which is when I watch most things.
That makes sense.
So thank you for reminding me, because he's working night shifts this week. So
there you go.
Finish it off. I feel like I got pretty far. It was super cute.
It was so cute. I love that so much.
I did love it.
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job with the casting, and the format was just so interesting to me. I love the Lizzie Bennet Diaries more than Emma Approved, but I still think that they both worked. Clary, did you watch either one of those?
I didn't watch any of them, no.
Okay.
But I did watch some of Lost in Austen.
Oh, yeah, I love that. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
For sure.
I like that one too.
It's so
That was
cute.
fun. And why did she claim to be like a chimney sweep? That was just completely random.
I don't remember that.
I know.
That's why I'm not wearing proper dresses. I'm a chimney sweep.
Oh, right.
I guess that's a thing. I don't know. The other thing I thought of, did you guys watch Becoming Jane? Do you remember that movie?
No. I keep thinking I should, but it's one of those things where I know from her life that her romance doesn't have a happy ending.
I know. Okay, so that's one of the movies that I have to be very specific. So I love James Mcavoy, like, so much. And
yes,
he's
just a lovable one.
Right, and he's such a gem in that movie. I think they casted Anne Hathaway and him, like, perfectly. Mm-hmm. And that's the movie that's like, if I want a good cry, that's the movie that I watch. Not that I ever actually want a good cry, but sometimes I want those feels. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, I
have to watch it sooner or later, and I know it, but I keep being like, do I want to be sad today?
I can't remember if I've watched it or not.
Okay, that's your homework. Both of you need to watch it, and everybody on the podcast, and then come tell me what you think, and if you had all the emotions just like I did, okay?
I don't see how you couldn't.
I mean, it's true.
That's why I've been avoiding. It's not because I thought it looked boring.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
I'll be sad,
but
I'll be sad.
You have to watch it, though, because I don't know, James Mcavoy just, like, does the perfect job in, like, the hero in that movie. And obviously Anne Hathaway does a good job being Jane, but
I see Anne Hathaway doesn't look like how I picture Jane Austen.
I guess in the movie she does kind of remind me of her, because, you know, it's a movie, so they make them look make them look better like that, like, you know, the character, whatever. But anyway, yeah, watch it and then tell me all your thoughts. Clary just saluted me, so
okay.
that is a binding contract.
Then I'll watch Bride and Prejudice again to cheer myself back up.
Yeah, there you go. Just make sure you watch something afterwards that is like a happy ending. Don't watch Becoming Jane and Last Christmas in the same day.
Well, I'm never watching Last Christmas.
It's true.
So that's easy. Won't happen.
Yeah. Anyway.
I was telling Craig about it, just why we were never going to watch it. He was like, that sounds terrible. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, there you go. No. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be the wrap on this very short and specific podcast episode. We have a lot of really fun stuff planned for the year, so I hope you guys stick around. We'll be bringing back the trope episodes eventually, so if you guys like missed those, let us know. Maybe we'll bring it back.
Or if you have
later.
a trope that you are super into that we've never done,
yeah,
you should let us know that too.
Or any subject at all you'd like us to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
Or that.
I will take it into consideration. Okay.
Valia is the queen.
I'm open to suggestions.
Yeah, we just all do what Valia says.
Hey, it's the best. Okay, everybody should do that. I'm just kidding.
I mean, we're not arguing.
No.
You guys are so great. Okay. Anyway, no. Yeah, definitely let us know what your favorite Jane Austen book or movie or TV show is as well. I'm just always really curious, like, what other people think about the subjects that we discuss, just because everybody has an opinion about everything, you know? So it's, like, really fun if you guys share it with us. You can do so on our Instagram at Reading Queens Pod, or send us an email, or leave us a message on Anchor. There's like a voicemail feature. I don't know. Just come hang out and talk to us, okay? Because we're talking to you, so let's make this a two-way conversation. And also, before you go, please give us a follow on your favorite podcast platform and leave a star review or a star rating or a review. I'm starting this year off great, you guys. But yeah, tell your friends, tell your family. Be back next week for more exciting stuff. And that's it. That's all I got. Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.